Hi Siddharth, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Amit.
How
Siddharth.
are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
All good, Siddharth. Thank you for joining the session today. Uh, Siddharth, you being the CEO of Kishor Pumps, I just wanted to run through a few questions and wanted to understand your suggestions as well as viewpoints of how it looks from your side. Can you tell us a brief about what Kishore Pumps is and maybe give a brief background of how it started and what was the motto behind the whole company?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. Kishore Pumps company was started by my grandfather. I'm the third generation in the company. It was started in the 60s by my grandfather, and we have been from the beginning into tailor-made, custom designed pumps. So we started off with supporting and supplying to the fertilizer, refinery, those type of industries with our own designs and products. And eventually in the 70s and the 80s, we tied up for technology with some European companies, mostly German. And we had a technology buyback to Germany as well as technology development for Indian sales as well. Uh, and that's how we progress to other types of pumps with the technology buyback from these companies. And eventually, since 1996, when we had the last technology buyback, from there onwards, for the last almost close to 27 years now, we have been working on our own indigenization and supporting the customers in India and outside with our own developed technology. We are still into the customized pump business, so we are not so far in the standard off the shelf fast moving kind of product. So it's every product that we make is made to order, and we primarily operate in three four verticals. One is corrosion or abrasion type of heavy chemicals and heavy industry, where the liquids are damaging, or I would say corrosive and abrasive to the pump. So that's one industry. Second is seawater. So a lot of desalination plants which are coming up in the world, we cater to that. Third is wastewater and sewage plants which are there. So we supply to those. And the fourth is general industry, which covers everything. But again, the pumps are made to specifically to that project for that order for that customer. With the advent of 3D printing, additive manufacturing, that we see that a lot of work, a lot of redundancies in the system, especially for our type of business, which depends on a lot of customization. Additive manufacturing is a key technology going forward. Digitization has been the buzzword for most of the industries going forward. I would say since especially since the pandemic, and coupled to digitization, the advent and the implementation of AI, virtual reality, and IoT systems. I think the pumps from the mechanical aspect, there is a lot of saturation in the pump technology, but in terms of business processes and integration of AI with the pumps and the manufacturing process, we see a lot of opportunities to reduce costs, increase scale, increase customer satisfaction, and that's where we also see ourselves trending towards in terms of the technology digitalization.
Perfect. So you talk about digitization. You are a customer of Zoho. Uh, can you help me understand why you decided to implement Zoho in your company?
So we started working with Zoho in 2015, and we primarily started with the customer relationship management software (CRM). Uh, at that stage in our evolution, we were I would say it was an evolving technology landscape that we had at that time, 2015-16, and we have had an ERP system which was there for resource planning, but I think there was a missing link between the insights into the sales and the customer psyche, which was missing. And with the evolution of I would say the technologies and decentralization of technologies, we thought that it is important to have better customer insights. The ERP system, the legacy ERP system that we had then, was sufficient to satisfy the needs for order tracking, customer database and everything. but it was just limited to that. We needed to have a solution which could provide us insights into the customer behavior, the ordering behavior, the customer type of orders, and then generate reports and MIs accordingly. So that was a trigger to start using CRM particularly, and we observed Zoho being a suitable uh, 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 subscription-based system, which was just beginning then as a software as a service system. So that was a trigger to start, and we found Zoho suitable, and that's how we started with Zoho.
Perfect. So it's been like long time now, near about 8 years. You're using Zoho, 2015 to 2023. Uh, what challenges did you see while implementing Zoho? You are still tweaking up processes inside the system. We do understand that, but what were the primary challenges you faced during this whole process?
So one of the key challenges being was that ours is a very customized or order specific business process. So every pump that we make or every product that we manufacture is made specifically for that order, specifically for that customer. So that has a lot of feedbacks within the system to ensure that a smooth execution happens for the customer. Now, some of these processes are not necessarily inbuilt into a standard system like what Zoho was or rather still is. So there was a lot of business process review that we had to do at our end to see, what complies with what the market ready systems like Zoho could offer. So that meant changing some of our internal processes, some of our internal control points to suit what Zoho was offering. That took some time, but eventually the entire organization, they tuned up to it, and not without much changes, we were able to do, the sales process, the execution approvals, and the workflow pretty close to what we wanted through some of the customization possibilities, as well as understanding, or that also, frankly speaking, that also allowed us to review our internal processes, which have been evolving over the years, and have a hard look at the redundancies in the system, which if could be eliminated. And we were able to reduce some of the dependencies and redundancies, which led to further streamlining and lean process, which eventually evolved, and since then we are using the same process with Zoho.
Perfect, Siddharth. Now, I'm sure you have been using Zoho in some part of your organization right now, specifically the CRM side, the sales side of it. Do you see Zoho being used, or any other Zoho products being used in other departments or other processes of your business? Is that something what your thoughts are around?
Yes, certainly. So as I said, we started with CRM in 2015-16, but over time we have also been for the service support for service tickets. We have been using Zoho Desk for about 3 years now. So that is providing us the ticketing for the sales calls, service calls for that. We also explored the use of the HR, or it's called Zoho People, I think. But when we explored it, I think the payroll system was not there then, which I think now is available. So we would soon be looking at moving towards the HR system of Zoho, provided I think it is already there integrated, but we have been already associated with another software for that. But we hope that we should be able to migrate and start using Zoho People as soon as possible with the availability of payroll. And also the analytics, I forgot to mention, along with CRM, we also have been using the analytics for almost the same number of years, for seven years now. And with the evolution of AI within Zoho, I think it's called Zia within Zoho, so that is able to offer us better insights into customer behavior, purchase management, and so on and so forth. So that's also we are using for a long time now.
Right. That's a great insight, Siddharth. So, you have been working with Aarialife for long now. We have been implementing the CRM and other aspects of Zoho for you. What was the primary reason you looked at us? What did you find different in Aarialife? If you could put some light on that, that would be
sure.
Great.
So I think when we raised the requirement to since we were using Zoho, we wanted to already see which Zoho partners would be able to satisfy the requirement. So I think what started off was, Aarialife was able to and the team was able to understand the requirement correctly in a very short time. I think that is the biggest challenge that a uh, uh, lot of the technicians or the sales guys, they're not able to absorb or understand the actual requirement that is to be done for a business process like what we do. So what I felt was that the people at Aarialife, they were able to understand and absorb the requirement pretty fast, and that enabled a shorter cycle time and a near perfect execution of the solution that we were looking for. Some of the widgets that Aarialife developed within Zoho, I think those were satisfying the requirement, and sometimes even beyond some of the requirement that we had. They were able to look into develop insights within the information that we gave, and come up with even better or more optimized solution than what we had thought about. So that was the main point. Also, this was the most of the work happened during the pandemic, so it was almost remote. Everything was remote, and I think it was pretty seamless from that aspect, which I think for which I think the people at Aarialife deserve a lot of credit, because it's not easy to implement and develop such a system fully remotely, but they were able to do that, and I think that they deserve all the praise for that.
Thank you very much, Siddharth, for that compliment. Really helps us boost our morale here. Uh, so, one suggestion from you. You are involved in the project. You are hands-on kind of a CEO. I understand that. Uh, I would want to seek your advice on what you would want to tell other customers or other companies who are seeking implementing of new software, maybe Zoho or some other software. But what would that one thing be which you think should be within the organization, or any
So
recommendations for you?
I think what I observe in especially in India is that a lot of the management, a lot of the CEOs tend to undermine the value and the use of data. I think in most of the companies, data is getting captured, but how to make sense of that data for decision making, I think that is not taken very seriously, and that is lacking. uh, Softwares like Zoho, I think they do a lot of that hard work in terms of making sense of the data, either using the analytics or using your AI platforms. I think my advice would be to look at data not only from a repository perspective, but really from a decision making perspective, and go at lengths to make sense of that data. So having data is one thing, but if you it's just as a use as a repository, it's of no use, and the whole investment may not generate the kind of ROI. But if that data is used for uh, getting developing insights, which frankly speaking, some of the I mean, even experts may not be able to identify through their experience. I mean, I'm sure the software with the AI capabilities is able to generate insights beyond what management can think about, and provide insights in a way that can ease decision making and faster decision making, ease decision making, and probably highlight uh, discrepancies, highlight lacunae wherever in the process pretty early to make informed decision and save costly mistakes in the future.
Perfect. I think that's a very good advice, Siddharth, because I have been personally implementing uh, technology systems across maybe Zoho or other systems, and I feel the very same. Data is captured from a perspective of capturing data, but not utilized for decision making to the extent it can be. Some basic reports are pulled out, but definitely they are operational decision making reports. I believe strategic decision making reports should also be a part of the vision while any system gets implemented. And really thank you for that advice. It really helps spread the message across. One question to yourself, a very personal question. What would you do something differently if you had to go back in time? I mean, you have
I mean,
achieved a lot,
the
but
same advice that we just
from
spoke
a
about. I think I would teach myself that same advice much earlier in my when I was starting off. Because I mean, I really see that a lot of companies in India, they have a lot of data gathering, but utilization of data is lacking, and that's I was also probably committing that mistake long ago. So that is one thing that I would say I would start if I were to start over. That is the one thing I would do it right from the beginning. That's one, and secondly, also I think we also tend to underestimate the uh, uh, I should say not the use of data, but also uh, value of data in the sense from a long-term ROI generation. So we often tend to think that we are capturing this data, but what is going to be the use? इसका क्या उपयोग है? इसका क्या मतलब है? We are not. I mean, we are spending without any vision in terms of capturing the data. And maybe, for example, in our pumps, when we go out in the field, we nowadays we do a lot of captioning in terms of the duty parameters, the field operations, and so on and so forth, with IoT requirements, so on and so forth. But this opportunity did exist also long time back. So if we had started off capturing that data, what we are doing now, without understanding or without thinking of the ROI, then that data could have been much more useful, and the ROI would have been the multiple on the ROI must be much higher now had we had that data since then. So again, learning, if for my younger self, I would still say that wherever there is opportunity to capture data, do it. Don't think where it can be used, but if it is available to be captured, do it right now. Somewhere or the other, you'll be able to find opportunity where you can use it for ROI.
thank you for that advice. I would take it personally, Siddharth, because I have done the same mistakes. We definitely improvise over time. But yes, thank you very much for joining in. It was really nice talking to you and getting your
Likewise.
insights.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you
Hope
so much.
hope to meet
Appreciate
you
it.
again in person.